Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piroworski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on the Rundown. 2A views, conservative news. And Greg, it's Thirsty Thursday.
Thirsty Thursday, my friend. Cheers. Lime.
He's looking up your old address.
There you go. There you go. How's the let me ask you this. Have you been successful in beginning your weekend yet?
I have. It's been more of a mixed effort, but yes, I have. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Well, unfortunately, I have not been completely successful yet, but I am still having a good time.
Yep. That's all right. You'll be okay. You and all that West Coast celebration, you'll be all right.
Well, you know, we got one, we're having decent weather, but number two, between the campaign and other stuff, political stuff going on, it's kind of the busy season here in California.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not like Florida. Our legislature is still in session, so we're still kind of dealing with them.
They got more raises to give themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just don't understand. It's like Democrats and Democrat legislators always seem to fail up.
Yeah, they fail up. Oh, that's a good F word instead of the other one I was thinking. But
yeah, well, no, it would be an F up if they weren't doing exactly what they were doing. What they're doing is they're effing the rest of us up. Yes. But no matter how bad a job they do, they always seem to get promoted to the next position.
Yep. Yeah, they do it well. They do it well.
Yeah. Speaking of promotion, it's time to promote our sponsors.
That's right. Let's say hello to our good friends at hitmanindustries.net. Hitmanindustries.net. Now you can get yourself an AR barrel and rifle and pistol calibers in any length you want. Soon to come, Glock barrels. Check out hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting the good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. Hog Holsters. That's HAWGholsters.com. HAWGholsters.com. You can get the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market. Use the discount code The Rundown, all one word, all caps, no spaces. And if you want some awesome going to the field gear, some tactical gear, some hiking gear, check out our friends at uscombatgear.com.
Folks, look, let me just tell you, each and every one of our sponsors, they are solid patriots. They are people who believe in America. They believe in the right to keep and bear arms. These are the sorts of people that you want to be doing business with. I mean, let's put it this way. If you can kick money down to Disney or to Budweiser or to Target, then who, by the way, pretty much hate everything that you stand for, then I know that you need to balance some of that. You need to spend some money with these folks. Check them out. It's real simple. You just follow the link in the description to this program. Just follow the link to their website. Check them out. If you like what you see, and I promise, if you're watching this show, I know you're going to like what you see. Spend some money with them. And remember to tell them that it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. Right. Also want to make sure.
Yeah, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
If you went to a restaurant and you'd ordered a 16-ounce New York strip, and they brought you out a 20-ounce New York strip, what would that be?
Ordered a 16, they brought me out a 20. Oh, that would be a bonus right there.
That would be extra meat.
Oh, God, really? This is where we're at now.
I'm trying to give the censors a reason to not throw us off the air. That's a legitimate reason for using that term. I'm trying to help you right now.
I've moved on. The censors have moved on. We're okay. Oh, dude, you are too much. I'll have to get you one of those. I'll have to get you one of those extra meat swimsuits.
See, I kept it above board, and now you're going down.
You kept it above the waistline.
That's it. Sunshine. Yep.
Oh, that is just bad. That is just bad, Mike. I'm so ashamed. I'm so ashamed. But on that note, let's go ahead and let's get into our stories for today. You might have noticed, if you've been watching the news today, that the whistleblower has finally come out. The IRS whistleblower, who has been sharing information with the House Judiciary Committee, one of the subcommittees, has actually been come out and talked about how they've been slow rolling the investigation into Hunter Biden. And you know what? Why don't I let him kind of share his thoughts and what he's talking about and what he sees going on right now.
This morning, a 14-year veteran of the IRS is surveilling himself as the whistleblower who claims there was political interference surrounding that probe into Hunter Biden's finances. Gary Shapley was recently removed from the Justice Department investigation. This is what he told CBS.
There was multiple steps that were slow walked at the direction of the Department of Justice.
Had you ever encountered that before?
I have not, no.
CNN's Evan Perez joins us now. Evan, one, what's the extent of his allegations? And two, what is the IRS saying about all of this?
Well, the extent of the allegations are still pretty minimal. We don't know exactly what specific allegations of wrongdoing this whistleblower is making because he hasn't even yet met with the congressional committees that are doing this investigation. We know publicly now for the first time his name, Gary Shapley. We know that he has some concerns that date back to 2020. Now, this would be during the Trump administration where he said he started noticing that there were deviations from the normal course of the way these types of investigations are done. We know that he believes that there were some political or some partisan interference here by someone beginning in 2020, but also continued into the Biden administration. And you know, not a lot of specifics in what he's saying, but he does describe this October 2022 meeting where he says everything came to a head. He and other investigators were very frustrated and believed that there was things being done that were, again, being done for partisan reasons. Now, we expect that.
So, to be clear, now this I wanted to specifically show the CNN thing because I figured they were going to take the only people that were going to be even further in denial was going to be MSNBC. But I figured the folks over at CNN were going to slow walk it, and that's exactly what he did. But even there, they're like, yeah, okay, so this was happening in 2020, which, by the way, no one doubts. No, people fail to understand that the alphabet soup agencies never liked Donald Trump, right? They're the ones who did the lying to investigate and spy on his campaign back in 2016. And some of them continued on to work for the agency. So, you know, this is not just a Democrat issue. This is also a bureaucrat issue, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is the roping in of everybody. You know, you go to these, and I'm going to guess this guy's been there. What did he say? 16 years. You know, so he's a mid-level employee. You know, if he's not a supervisor, and you know, what are they going to do? You know, what can this guy do? They come to him and say, we need you to do this, and you know, he's at 16 years. He's short of retirement. You know, he can't just collect a check and go home. He's you know, he's kind of stuck. You know, he's a bureaucrat stuck in the middle, and he wants to keep his job, but he knows what he's doing is wrong. So guess what? This guy goes whistleblower, and you know, unless somebody comes and offers him a book deal, you know, he's done. There's no retirement coming for this guy either.
Well, exactly. And so in the end, I think we're going to start. I think some of the things that we were hearing behind the scenes, we're going to start to hear. We're going to start to hear out in public. So that's going to be real interesting to hear some of those things. And I'm hoping that on his way out, he's actually taken some documentation with him that will actually verify and prove some of the things that we've heard coming out of the committee.
I hope on the way out there's some poop on a desk. I hope that's what he does. Just drop one right there.
No, that's what isn't that what the Clinton administration did?
Yes, that's why I bring it up. That's why I bring it up.
Anyway, Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, the Hunter Biden thing is going to turn out to be a very big deal. I don't know if it's going to be a big deal in time for the presidential election, but before it's all said and done, there's going to be a lot of info that's going to come out, and the only thing the Democrats are going to be able to do is ignore it, or try to ignore it.
Yeah, they'll finally bring out the final results in the year 2035 and put it on the back page of the New York Times.
Yep, that's pretty much the way it'll go. But doesn't mean that we don't tell the truth.
Well, you know what? It's a good place to start. That's for sure. Yeah.
Definitely a good place to start. All right, next in line, let's see what we have here. Next story. Oh, media lies about black poet's book being banned. This is a big one because one of my clients that I work with it's a black newspaper, and there's this group called Word in Black that that are a group of black publishers that put out articles, and they all kind of share them, and they really need to change their name to Liberal Word in Black, or Word in Liberal Black, because it's really how do I want to put this? Most of the pieces that they put out, I won't say most, I'll say many. I won't even say most, but many of the pieces that they put out are opinion pieces masked as news. And one of them has to do with this piece about Amanda Gorman. Amanda Gorman was the then teenage, now I think 22-year-old poet who read a poem at, or I think he was 19 at the time, who read a poem at Joe Biden's inauguration. Well, that poem was part of a book and part of a group of books that was at a particular school in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And a parent complained about the book about the poem because of the content of the poem, felt that it was politically divisive and racially divisive, and so they felt that it was inappropriate to be in an elementary school library. Now, the school itself is a K-8, so it goes from elementary school to middle school. So because of the law that was passed regarding content, there was a committee at the school that reviewed the book, and they reviewed the poem. They refused to remove the poem from the school, but they thought, you know what, maybe it's just more appropriate because kind of a political and culturally sensitive nature that maybe we'll make it for middle school. So we'll move it to the middle school section of the library. Well, now you've got them basically saying, Mike, or pretending like the book has been banned. They're trying to say that the book, Mike, has been banned from elementary schools, from all elementary schools in Miami-Dade, or in some cases, they say all elementary schools in Florida no longer have access to this poem. The lies never stop.
It's what they do, right? You know, I don't know if we call them the legacy media, or I prefer to call them the lamestream media, because they keep coming up with this lie. It is literally just an extension of if it bleeds, it leads, right? Well, they got nothing bleeding, so they're out there stabbing stories to get them to bleed, and you've got this girl in this poem of which you listen. By the way, nobody's discussing the contents of the poem, right, Craig? Why should the facts be important? All we're talking about is that this poem has been banned from the kindergarten class, when it's not, it's partial a retelling of the story, and it's false and misleading. It's clickbait. It's the media trying to make you believe what they want you to believe.
Well, in Mike, it's also part of this belief where, once again, and this is what I keep telling a lot of my friends who are going after, conservatives are trying to ban books. Let me just be real with you. The only books that first of all, they're not banning any books. They're simply saying that there are certain books that should not be in any of our public school libraries, and some books that probably should be available in school libraries where it is age appropriate, right? And what you've got is you've got people in the, and I don't even want to, you have people who are using black people, that are using LGBT people to push a sexual agenda, right? Because some of these books, like I said, you have books that talk about eating poo. You've got books that talk about how to date adults on Tinder, right? That talk about anal sex, that have visual pictures of oral sex. And these books are in middle school libraries, are in public school libraries. Those are the books that people are trying to get out of public school libraries. But they say that, well, no, those books promote the LGBTQ community, so we can't have them removed. And oh, by the way, they're banning books about black people. And that gets my fellow African Americans all upset and angry. And so they say, why are you banning books? I said, why don't you check out the books that are actually getting banned?
Yeah, read it, get the facts. All right, let's actually start to look at some facts first, and then make your own decision. Draw your own conclusion. But just simply reading the article where it says media says this is banned, you know what? I'm not even going to have the conversation with you until you come over here and you've got some facts in your pocket.
Right. Well, it's kind of a waste of time in cases like that, because you cannot have an informed conversation with someone who is not informed. Right? I mean, how do you have an informed conversation, an intellectually informed conversation with people who refuse to actually look at the facts, to actually read what's going on? I had someone yesterday tell me about a bill that's taking place in Florida that just got passed, and I'm like, yeah, the bill doesn't do that. I'm like, I haven't even read the bill, and I know it doesn't do that. And then I went and I read the bill. And then I shared the bill with them. And I said, please show me where in the bill it does what you said it does. And they said, the problem is you got your talking points from someone you know, probably someone you trust, but definitely not someone you know. Hey, I wanted to say a quick shout out over on Facebook at OpsLens. We have Bicky Warren. I might mess up your name, Bicky, but it's Bicky Warnford, and she is actually watching from Western Australia. So we're praying for you, all of y'all there in Florida, that freedom will continue to reign or reign more profusely there in the land down under.
There you go. Well, it is the rainy season, so.
Well, then let it rain liberty.
There you go.
Anyway, I really do think, Mike, and this is the reason why this bothers me so much, is because I really think that the left is divided between people who are there are people who are out and outright liars, people who refuse to hear the truth, and people who simply haven't heard all of the information and the truth. I know, because I deal with a lot of those people who, when I provide them the information, they're like, wow, okay, I didn't know that. It is amazing. But it's frustrating me, because I really think that the majority believes what we believe. I just think that there's a huge percentage of those folks who just don't know it, because they don't have all the information. They're still plugged into the matrix.
I usually find when I give them the facts, that's when they get more angry. No, it doesn't matter. It's not right. It's wrong. There's that refusal to accept the facts as the truth, as opposed to, again, what the headline says.
There are many like that. And there are some like that who later come back and like, okay, now that they've investigated and looked at it, they're like, wow, man, you really had a point. I just find it funny, because I get liberals who all the time who say, man, Craig, he's really good at arguing, talking points and arguing his Republican perspective. And I said, literally all I do is share facts. All I do is share information. That's it. It's a lot easier to win arguments when the truth is on your side.
What a concept, right? Using the truth to have a conversation.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Anyway, moving right along. Now, this was an interesting one. You were talking about working on changing our society. There was a student, this is a college student, that received a 0 grade on her project, right? This was a project that she turned it in. The instructor said, wow, that was a great idea for a concept. But the college student got graded a 0 on her assignment because she used the term biological woman. The student calls it the most biased grade ever, especially considering the fact that her entire project was about trans-identified individuals competing in women's sports. Now, Mike, I gotta say, this one is exceptionally weird because if you're talking about, once again, biological, you literally, the whole argument about trans women competing in women's sports has to do with biological advantages. And by the way, no matter what you do, whether you chop it off, whether you put in breast implants, you don't change the biology. You don't change your biology. You are still, you either got XX or XY. That's it. There's no in between. I don't understand how you downgrade somebody for actually being biologically accurate in their paper.
You need to be not so nonchalant when describing the techniques. By the way, that's just you can't just say it like that. That's just it's a traumatic thing.
You mean
Greg,
you mean I should not say chopping off of the penis or the breast?
Just that's enough. All right. So if you're gonna say it,
you gotta say what it is. Okay, those who have gone through gender affirming care. How about that? Does that make you feel better?
Right.
Does that make you feel warm and fuzzy? Do I need to get you a onesie so that you can,
No. You just gotta as a man, when you say that, you have to go and chopping off.
As a man, you're like,
you have to make it. Like we all. It's like when a baseball player gets hit in the groin area with a baseball. We all feel that in the stand.
we do. Okay. Anyway, go ahead. I'll let you make your point.
Did you notice that? And I didn't see it, and it looked pretty hard. The college was not named? So I'd really like to know. The college was this a big university, some small liberal arts college? I'd like to see that. Either way, I mean, this has got to be grounds to her to get a. Unfortunately, you got to get a lawyer involved and get to the court. This is an injunctionable action right here against the use of the BW term now.
Yeah, you're right. I do not see it here either. You would think they would have put the name of the university, but maybe she doesn't want to put the name of the university because she's afraid she'll get disciplined. Yeah. I'm assuming that someone is going to actually take this article and look it up and find out what university she goes to. You could probably troll her Twitter feed, and that might tell you something about where she goes. Actually, it wasn't even her Twitter feed. It was that Censored Men was where it was posted. So they're probably kind of trying to protect her.
It's a good story to talk about, the theory, but there's again, I don't know the facts of which school it is. Otherwise, I'd love to go after that school. Clearly, not acceptable thing,
Well, I'll tell you, and it's the hard part with a lot of this is people are really scared. I mean, you got college students and college professors. You've got coaches. You've got people who are really scared because they've literally been threatened that if you say something, if you come out against it, in some cases you lose your scholarship. In some cases you'll lose academic credit. For some people you lose your job. And once again, simply by pointing out that men, in this particular case, trans women born as biological men, in particular those who've gone through puberty, have an advantage athletically in most sports.
Right.
I don't know that there is a biological untruth in that statement anywhere.
I have yet to see one. It's clearly from the article pieces that we've seen and the portions of the paper that she's told us about. It's layman's terminology. It's not even like they're using medical terminology or slang for it. It's just standard layman everyday terminology. And how could that be cause for a zero? I just, again, get you a good lawyer. If you don't have one, just send us a message. We will get you one.
Hey, I wanted to chime in again real quick. Becky chimed in again, and she said, thank you. There's no global warming down here. She's referring to Australia. It says we suffer from the same problems with our schools down here. It says they're conservative, trans, and I am totally against trans playing women's sports and invading their spaces. I really think that the people who support it are, I believe that even in the trans community, the people who support that are in the minority, are a very, very small group of people. And I think some of them, they're not even really trans. I think that some of them are perverts. They are cis male perverts. They are not transgender. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying that I think that there are some who get off on invading the space, that invading the space thing, and I think they make it hard on I think the trans community who just wants to live their lives.
True, and I kind of agree with you. You said yesterday when we were having this conversation, if they insist on doing this, have a third category for competition, have an open category.
There you go.
And let anybody in. Let's show the ridiculousness of this. You can have people competing dressed as Jedis as well. Just it's the open category. Let them all compete. Show their foolishness.
Yeah. Well, I just once again just try and find a way to make it fair. And I just, like I said yesterday, I know that
before I start getting letters, I'm sorry. Not the foolishness of being trans. If that's what you've chosen, that's it. It's the foolishness of being a biological man competing in a woman's sport. That's the foolishness of it.
There you go. No, I think that is an excellent clarification. Thank you so much for it. Okay, moving right along to our next subject. Oop, let's skip one. There we go. Where are we at here? Okay. Migrant murderer, known member of MS-13. Now, keep in mind, we have a president right now who is talking about how, wrong guy. We have a president right now who is talking about how secure our southern border is and the stringent process that those who are entering our country are actually going through. Now, there are multiple instances. We've heard multiple reports. I mean, dozens of reports of rapes, of murders, of robberies, of armed robberies, of violent acts by individuals who have entered this country illegally multiple times, and in many cases have a criminal record, a violent criminal record. Well, according to the Washington Free Beacon, we have another report. We have another sighting. This individual, this is migrant who raped and killed Maryland woman, was known MS-13 affiliate, report finds. Biden administration has failed to implement basic screening and vetting measures at the border, lawmakers say. The Salvadorian national who raped and killed a 20-year-old American citizen was granted entry into the United States in spite of his MS-13 affiliation and arrest record, a congressional investigation found. Mike, once again, why does this... What's funny is that, and I appreciate them reporting this, the sad part is that it's not surprising. It's not the first time, it's not the fifth time, it's not the 10th time. When is enough enough?
Well, they don't care. They don't care because for every one of these they let through, it's 100 non-criminals. I have no idea what the numbers are, but every one of them they know is going to vote Democrat because here you go. We're gonna break our own laws, let you in, give you some money, give you a social security number, and let you get out there and go work. And by God, if you're working, you should be voting too. So here's the blue states you should go to and get out there and vote because we want to remain in control of our populace, and the only way we can do that is with your new Democrat vote.
Mike, it's interesting that you say that because I don't know. I don't think you were on the show with me when I did the show where you have Democrats are now saying, hey, look, we need to expedite the visas for these people who are entering into the country illegally so that they can work here. And by the way, just so you all know, that's not a thing just for Democrats. One of the reasons why you have a number of Republicans who have failed to come up with real address the issues of immigration is because they're supported by businesses who want cheap labor. I'm not saying it's all Republicans. I'm just saying that there are some. And their whole thing is they want to keep labor costs down. And as you have, in particular with municipalities and states pushing $15, $20 minimum wages, or what they call living wages, a lot of these employers are like, look, I can't compete unless I, have folks working under the table. And because they're here illegally, they'll take less money. They'll take worse working conditions because they know that, or they're afraid that if they don't, they'll get the boot.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely right. There's people out there that politicians for life, right? Never meant to be a job forever. It was meant to be your public service to your community. But they know where the bread is buttered, so to speak, and they won't speak out against it.
No, they most definitely will not. And on that note, we're going to move on to Parting Shots, brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Get your Hog Holster today with the discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces, one word, The Rundown. Get your Hog Holster today. This first one is going to be, in honor of Mr. Eric Adams, one of the reasons why I mentioned him at the very beginning. They decided Eric Adams has gone to the courts and asked that their whole, that whole right to shelter thing get thrown out because, according to the Babylon Bee, and this is Babylon Bee alert, if you are watching this on YouTube, this is called satire. It ain't real. Anyway, they say sanctuary city bummed now that it actually has to do the sanctuary part.
God forbid.
God forbid they should actually have to do their part. Now this next one, and we only have two today, so this next one is a video. For those of you who did not have an opportunity or have not heard about Ron DeSantis's launch on Twitter Spaces yesterday, launch of his campaign, it was a technological mess. Let's put it that way. They tried to do something new. They had like 700,000 people on, which is more than they've had on at any of the Twitter Spaces. And Twitter Spaces can be kind of complicated to operate. But anyway, it was a technological mess. But this was actually put out like almost right afterwards by the Trump administration, kind of mocking the launch. But I had to play it because I don't know.
Was this by the Trump administration or was this by a Trump fan?
This was by a Trump supporter. Let me clarify. It wasn't done by the Trump administration. Let me. You are correct. Thank you. Trump supporters did this, but it's funny. Y'all may not like it, but I thought it was funny. Oh, just warning. Salty language alert. Salty language alert.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Ron DeSantis Twitter space.
Hello? Is my microphone working correctly?
George, can you just wait while we...
Hello? Can you hear me?
We can all hear you, George. Can you just hold on for a second?
Hilfa, I don't think they can hear me.
I can hear you fine, George. Just speak to the
I don't think George knows how to use Twitter.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Can I please make my big announcement now? Everyone just...
Hello?
Just shut up, George.
Can somebody just mute George?
Dick, could you try not to cough on the...
Okay, so how are we going to take out Trump, you guys?
Guys from the FBI, this is not a private call. This is a public Twitter space. Everyone can listen in.
God damn it.
Anyway, guys, we invited everyone to this Twitter space so Governor Ron DeSantis could...
Everyone just shut the hell up so I can make my announcement, okay?
You go, girl.
Wait, the devil is gay?
So what? Everyone in this call is gay. I happen to know every single one of you has a secret gay lover hidden in your closet.
Führer, ich kann nicht zulassen, dass die Soldaten, die für Sie verbrechen... Feiglinge!
Guys, can we please just calm down?
So anyway, guys, I just wanted to announce that I'm...
Okay, I can hear the governor very well.
Shut the hell up,
Would you please shut up already? I'm running for fucking president, okay?
Yeah, we kind of already knew about it.
Know, Governor.
Congratulations, Governor.
Well, that concludes our Twitter space for today. Thank you to all of our...
Hold your horses, Elon. The real president is going to say a few words, The devil, I'm going to kick your ass very soon. Hitler, you're already dead. Dick Cheney sounds like you'll be joining Hitler very soon. Klaus Schwab and George Soros, I'm putting both your asses in jail. And Ron DeSanctimonious can kiss my big, beautiful 2024 presidential ass. Trump 2024, baby. Let's go.
All right. Now, the funny part about that is all of the voices in that video were done by AI. So the only one that really sounded like almost dead on was Elon Musk.
They were all recognizable when you saw the picture. I mean, at least they were close,
Yes, the voices were close, but Elon Musk, like I said, sounded almost dead on him.
Yep. Pretty good. Good stuff.
Here's the thing. It was funny. And, I appreciate political humor. I appreciate humor like that. Even when you're making fun of my guy, it's fun. Anyway, it was funny. I very much enjoyed it. I will tell you, this is going to be an interesting campaign, to say the least. I'm hoping that both candidates make it out without being, whoever the nominee is, without being too politically battered.
We'll see. We'll see how it works. That's the big fear for Trump supporters is that Trump does Trump.
Well, I think pretty much we can count on. If there's one thing you can count on Trump being Trump. The other thing you can count on is a second shout out to our sponsors.
There you go. Hitmanindustries.net. Hitmanindustries.net. You got yourself an AR rifle in the past 5 years. Probably got one of their barrels. Don't even know it. Well, now you can buy from them direct from the factory for your next AR build or rebarrel your current rifle. And don't forget, Glock barrels coming soon. Hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And of course, if you want some awesome field gear, go to the woods kind of gear, hunting gear, go visit our friends at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. Take a moment. Visit them. Check them out. If you like what you see, spend some money with them. Make sure you tell them the guys over the Rundown sent you. We very much appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. We're going to call it a day, but we will be back tomorrow on Freeback Friday. We'll talk to you then.